Here's the list that I'm going to be running today. I'm going back to the more normal list. It's running one less Architect of Thought for one additional Oliphant. But otherwise, it's a pretty stock list. Um, not really much to discuss about the main deck here. Um, there is no. I noticed at the Legacy European Championship Ghent that there were a lot of lists that just weren't running Striped Riverwinder, and I find myself siding out Striped Riverwinder the most. Um, so I wanted to try that out. So I'm going with a full four Waker of Waves tonight, and four Living End. I don't like the three Living End list. Just don't know if I want that. Some lists will actually take this third Oliphant will actually typically I notice, and it might be what I try actually is a fourth Subtlety rather than siding it. It's just too good against too many things, right? It's good against the Fairy, good against Grief, good against Murktide, good against Ragavan, good against Dothy Voidwalker. It's good against a lot of things that are really good against me. So having multiples is never bad. So that might be something that I might look into doing after tonight, but this is kind of what I locked in with, so this is just what I'm doing. Sideboard, two Mystical Dispute, no difference there. Brazen Borrower, Subtlety, nothing crazy there. Leyline of the Void, I like the mix of Leylines and Endurances. Leylines are good against the Yawgmoth decks. I mean, they run enchantment and artifact removal. I get it, but that's why I also have Endurances. I like the having both of them. I haven't tried Ingot Chewer, but I do like the fact that I can bring this in against blue red and only need one mana to take out a Chalice as opposed to two with um, Foundation Breaker. So there's that. Um, yeah, I mean, this is the list. This is what I'm running with. So this is what I'm going to get started with. This is round one. I've won the die roll. Let's go. All right. So this is um, no lands. So I'm going to have to mulligan. Pretty easy there. All right. So we got three lands essentially, four lands. So, I mean, I have what I need. I'm probably just gonna dump the Otawara. I'm gonna play the Misty to get blue red, and then with the Generous Scent get a forest. No, I'll probably get the breeding pool because I'm gonna need a second island if I'm gonna dump the Otawara. I'd like to keep the Otawara, but I don't want to get rid of either of these cards here. I want to be able to cycle. I want to. I mean, I guess I could dump the Stomping Ground and play the Otawara. Let's see. That's blue red. And then I could get blue green and then play Otawara. I like that. So we dump the Stomping Ground. And that way, if I draw a land, I have Otawara in my hand to play. My sound is not loud enough. Hopefully that's better. Much better. I still have a lingering cough from having COVID back during the holidays. Either that or I'm getting sick again, so that's great. See what we're playing against here. So again, the goal, I'm going to get Steam Vents, cycle for Breeding Pool. Turn 2, I'll have this. So I might not have to play the Breeding Pool untapped. We'll see what I draw. If I draw a blue land cycler, I definitely want to have both untapped. So our opponent might be away. I hate that feeling when you sleep wrong on your neck and everything just starts to hurt. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Everything from my shoulders up is just feels destroyed. Doesn't help that we lost power at 1 a.m. Did not get power back till about 3:15, 3:20. Both my daughters woke up during that time because it was just pure silence in the house. You could hear a pin drop, and they both woke up, and that was fun. Lots of fun. Wooded foothills. All right, so we'll get ourselves a steam fence. I'm gonna put that into play untapped. Get ourselves a breeding pool. Did I do the 2 Otawara lists as well? I did. So that's I thought I did. I just I saved the deck into Moto the other day, and so this is cool. So I can get myself an island right now and not take the damage. Well, that wouldn't make sense. I mean, I can put the breeding pool into play untapped. So let's cycle this first. So that kind of bites because it's not much of a living end on turn 3. Stomping ground with a misty rainforest. All right. So they could be sitting on my guess. They're pausing here. So they've just paused there. So I'm wondering if this is Rhinos and they had Fire Ice. If it's Rhinos, I don't need to rush into playing my Shardless Agent at all. Um, it's almost. I mean, they might play theirs next turn. So let's kind of see if I can get them to. I want to keep the Otawara now, so I'm going to play this land. I might actually want to fetch now if they have Tashana Tidebinder. I don't. Do I get? Well, let's see. I could do it on their turn if they Tashana. I won't really care, right? I have 3 more lands in my hand. If they Tashana on their turn, it leaves me open to play the Shardless Agent. But I want them to play their own Shardless Agent. So let's just get. I have a lot of islands. Might as well just grab a forest. We'll do this untapped. I mean tapped. Gonna. So now I'm just gonna jam, right? they have any type of counter spell, I'm just gonna have the next one. Yep. I mean, we knew they had that right. Here's a violent outburst. No sense in blocking too. See, this is where I need violent outburst. Don't need that. Don't need that at all. So now they might have a Tashana for my Cascade. If they do, I'm just gonna get blown out. But I'm already at 8, so I mean, I gotta do something. Do they have another force? Double force hand? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Blown out. He attacks here, I lose. So God, that was brutal. Not supposed to lose horribly like that, but my hand was just not really great for what he had. So here, I like a couple mystical disputes. I want the subtlety. Uh, hmm, don't really know what to take out. Maybe I just bring in one dispute. Two lands. I have a subtlety. Can't really say no to this. Just gonna have to find the third land. The only thing that kind of bites, I have two violent outbursts. Really, no cyclers. Guess I could have mulliganed to a better hand here. All right. We're gonna go Misty. Probably want Breeding Pool and then Stomping Ground. I mean, I could just get. No, I'll just go with Steam Vents and then Breeding Pool. I could actually just wait till next turn, right? Because I'm only gonna draw one cycler, if anything, and I'll have the second land to do it. So there's no reason to take more damage needed. Like if I had a cycler that I want to play, I'd want to put it untapped so I could cycle one out of his turn and still have one for my turn. Probably could have used that for grief, but I really just want to try to get to my third land here. Unless I control two or fewer other lands. So that's a good draw. So we're gonna still don't have a turn where I need to play anything. So put it into play untap. I mean tapped. I'm just saying everything backwards today. So this kind of bites. I only have two cards in my graveyard. I think I'm just gonna pass. I mean, there's no point living in it to get two creatures. That's not terrible. Get to see his hand, put a grief in if I can double grief. Subtlety. Yeah. I don't want to get rid of my forced negation because now that I have. I might just end of his turn. If I end of his turn, I mean, I'll have the forced negation, right? I'll at least have two. I'm going to put this bottom at this point. So he's now going to have subtlety. I feel like I need another blue card. I mean, yeah, I don't want to have to pitch subtlety because I kind of want subtlety for endurance. Did I ever get to play a land? I think I did. I did. Doesn't really hurt us, but what's with all the griefs? I did put it bottom, right? Okay, I did put mine on the bottom. I just so happened to draw another one. Try end of turn, violent outburst anyway. Like I'm just not. Where are my cyclers? Like this is just isn't good. May have wanted to put this on tap to hardcast Subtlety just in case. That's not really what I want. I mean, now I'm getting to a point where I can hardcast Force of Negation as opposed to if I draw another land. So he's going to Shardless Agent, which is fine. So do I just do it here? He's going to have Endurance, so if I do that, I lose everything. I think I still have time. Draw a blue card here. That's not necessarily what I wanted. I mean, it's now or never, right? I can cast Violent Outburst if he has the Endurance. I mean, if he doesn't have a counterspell, I can Endurance, right? I mean, I can Subtlety the Endurance. Or does he have the counterspell? I can't play around both. At least I have a Cycler to do. If he does have Endurance, I'll have a card to cycle. I just hate that it's one of the land cyclers. But that's kind of the hand that we've been dealt. Let's see what he does first. We have to play around whatever the first spell he is, and then if he has the second one, then that it is what it is. 1, 2, 3. Force of Negation. And here comes the Endurance. Or second Force. I'd pray for it to be a second Force of Negation. Oh, yeah. Or a Mystical Dispute. That works. So now in their upkeep. I mean, they have 2 open. I mean, if they have a Force and if they have a second Force, but they didn't use it, they wouldn't need to use it, knowing that I didn't have the mana. So now at 6, this is just getting worse and worse for me. That was as good a draw as any. Let's just see what they have. They're still going to have a Subtlety, right? So they're casting Endurance now. So we're going to have to go Violent Outburst, and hopefully they don't have it. Can't tell me everything in their hand just counteracts everything I have. Come on, just get there. Thank God. We'll go Ent, Grief. They've got Subtlety. believe it or not, that food token that I get. Oh, they did have the force. Whew. Thank God for drawing that living end for the grief. All right, so he's in top deck mode. I'm just gonna do this now in case he draws to Shauna. I don't want him countering that. I need that life. I am on a clock too. Well, that's 10. I mean, he has to save it up to block, right? Unless he draws a Cascader. That's a good draw. Anything he plays, he'll be able to deal with it at this point, I think. Endurance. As I say, I think he's going to target himself there. So now what's he do? He could block 1, re-attack me for 6. He'd be too low, though. So he'll be at 2. It's a weird block. Yeah, I mean, like where I'm at. All right, so what do we got here? We got 1 land, 2 lands, potentially 3 lands. We have Force of Negation backup. Of course, we have Violent Outburst, so that's pretty nice. So I think we Violent Outburst with Force of Negation backup. We have 1 Cycler. But I mean, we have Subtlety. I think what's happening here? Like my deck just does not want to draw cyclers. No, I'm not going to play some other game. Get out of here. All right, I like to see this and this. I draw a cycler. That's not what I wanted. So this will get Stomping Ground. What's up? Hella cool balla. Best friend. Alright. At least we have that now. So we only have one card to cycle, so we're just gonna do that. I guess I could have cycled this to see what land I want to play. And potentially cycle 2 cards. That was a misplay. Nothing's better than Russ. Get out of here. That's how I know you guys are lying. Alright, so he's playing Charlotte's Agent, so he's got Force of Negation. So we need this untapped. Yeah, I'll come check it out after, John. I am just currently testing for the tournament that I have coming up on Saturday. So, all right, so he's got Force of Negation. If he has Force of Negation, I have backup. I also have Subtlety backup for Endurance. So, kind of like where I'm at here. All right, so now we have to do this. We're gonna Violent Outburst. He's got Tashana's Tidebinder. Saw the kind of figured that. So I'm going to Subtlety, and I'm going to exile a Shardless Agent. So that's pretty good. I'm going to have a lot coming into play here. And I still have, he's tapped out during his turn now, so that's pretty sweet. So I'm going to go here. And I'm going to Architects of Will him. Because he has yet to draw this turn. He asked me if I had the force as well. So brutal, he said. All right. So that was a good match. I got annihilated game one, which typically doesn't happen against Rhinos. That's not supposed to happen there. I don't think I um, drew all that great. I probably didn't play it well either, but nonetheless, that's how it went. All right, round two. We have lost the die rolls, so we'll be on the draw. Oh, I was looking for my pen here. All right, so we got two lands essentially, right? One, two. We have three lands. So three lands. We have a Subtlety. We have Grief with Living End. We have a Cycler, which is really good. So we want to keep this. Depending on what they play, we might grief turn one. We might wait. They did mulligan to 5. What are you running, Tron? All right. Ketria Triome. Okay. Could potentially be Rhinos again. Um, so if we're going up against Rhinos, we want to save the grief for turn 2, maybe even turn 3, the turn that we're gonna play the Shardless Agent. Um, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna pass turn. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to change my bot here. It's still like going off of my last name, Zero Tolerance. So, all right. So very well could be another Rhinos matchup here, which is weird because I was just saying I had never played against Rhinos. Get ourselves a breeding pool. Is he gonna ice? Yeah, I mean that's an easy. Let me cycle. Well, that sucks because I can't wake her waves. Well, I don't have the option to choose at least. Hmm. Well, there's nothing that I'm going to be playing, so I can at least just do this. But I'm going to grief next turn. Grief the turn that I'm going to play the Shardless Agent. There's nothing that they're playing that's going to take my grief out, so. Curious if they just go for it here. Looks like they're debating it. Be great if I drew a Violent Outburst right now. Oh, okay, so he's got that. Um, so we're gonna probably do Waker of Waves then. We'll put a Waker in my hand. Probably should have put the Curator in my hand actually, because I'd have one. Uh, when you decide and make a decision a little too early, I don't think it matters. Still just gonna play this land. Still don't want to grief. I want to grief the turn that I'm going to be playing Charlotte's Agent, so we have the maximum value. Oh, I drew a Curator anyway. All right, so that's sweet. So we're just gonna play that at the end of his turn, or I'll discard it, cycle it. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I I did not get enough sleep. I might only do a couple matches tonight, quite honestly. Um, I am extremely tired. Do a couple matches and just put a couple videos out on YouTube, maybe. What's with all my Shardless agents? Give me Violent Outbursts. All right, so I'm gonna grief here. Because at this point, I'm not waiting for him to play a Crashing Footfalls. My graveyard's large enough where I can get past a couple Rhinos. And even then, if he resolves anything on my next turn, I have subtlety and force. Let's see what he's got. So he's got Flame of Anor. He has Dead Gone. And he has Tashana. Well, I'm obviously going to. Well, that's the thing, right? I've got. I think I take the Flame of Anor. He plays Tashana. I've got the subtlety. I like that. And I'm gonna keep the Force of Negation, so I'm gonna pitch the Wake of Waves. And just like last time, I'm gonna just take out. See, I did that last time, right? And I hated the fact that I wasn't getting many cyclers. I like the 4 living end. What's he got to counter living end? Just the forces. I could take out an Oliphant, actually. If I do this and this, and then bring in the 1 dispute, 1 subtlety, that's not terrible. Yeah, I definitely don't like. I should be. This is just what I should be running. I should have 4 subtlety main, 4 Oliphant, and then I would take out maybe 1 Waker, 1 Curator. Oh yeah, I know. They say everything's better than Rust. If everything's better than Rust, then why is Rust still better? Like doing better? Nothing's better than Rust. Um, I forget what I was doing. So if I take out another Waker and bring in another Dispute, it's not terrible, I don't think. Because technically, main deck, I'd be running 4 Subtlety, 4, I'd be taking out 1 Waker and 1 Curator to bring in 2 Mystical Disputes, I think. Yeah, I played Uncharted that one night. It was a good time, but I don't know. They get so far ahead of me, I kind of just give up. All right. So I have 2 lands, 3 lands, and a grief, double grief. This hand isn't great, but it does have grief. It has outbursts. If I draw into blue cards, it's not terrible. So how do I do this? I play the Otawara, cycle to the steam vents. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad game. I'm testing for this event that I have coming up on Saturday. I need to put my time into it. I don't want to be driving 2.5 hours to go O2 drop and money spent wasted. Another grief. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Diablo sucked. That was terrible launch. Did we expect anything less from Blizzard though? Let's be honest. Did he keep a one? He kept a 1 lander. So I like to cycle before I play my lands. So we have a Wake of Waves. And then next turn, we have Grief. We've got Force of Negation. I don't even know that I want to play the Wake of Waves because I need the blue card for Force of Negation. I'll probably get one off Waker, though. Odds are I'll get one off of the Waker. All right. We're going to Waker here. I'm obviously going to take the Curator. Now I'm going to Grief them on their turn. So I'm going to Grief. And they'll probably, my guess is they'll concede here. I don't know why he kept a one lander. Endurance. That's why he kept the one lander. Don't have the dispute. Don't have the dispute. Force of negation. All right, I just got blown out there. But he still has a one lander, and I have a grief, and I still have cyclers. We're gonna take the mystical dispute, I think. Or we do, we have the force of negation, right? And we have another grief coming up. I don't want him getting it to Shauna and play though with the guy. I could just take the violent outburst, keep him from doing anything, even if he gets lands. But I'm not really afraid of two rhinos. Realistically, I get grief. I'll take out the dispute. He still did not draw land. Um, we'll just say yes. One land, and he did a lot to hurt me there. Be nice if I could draw something. Do I just do it now? If I do it now, he still has an endurance. Did he? What? So now I'd have two 4/4s. It's something. He's got nothing going on right now. I have to I have to get something going here. He'll have an endurance. Another endurance? Come on, guy. You had like no cards in hand at one point. Rough. Now he's got 2 endurance. And I don't got jack. I just realized how many lands I have. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands out of 13 cards. I did get blown out that one turn. I mean, he's got 1 land. You kind of have to go for it. I had ways to deal. I mean, if I had only had Violent Outburst where I could have used my forces. When he's on 1 land, you have to go for the win. You can't just sit there. And he's still sitting on a Tishana and a Violent Outburst. So now he can Outburst. Yeah, we're going to go to game 3. I definitely think I did what I needed to there. He's on 1 land. You don't expect Force of Negation, Endurance, and then a second Endurance. I guess you could expect that, but when he's on 1 land, you kind of have to just try to take the win. I'd like to go first, yes. 2 lands, 3 lands. I have a Grief and a Cycler and a Shardless Agent. That is a keep. We'll go with Botanical Sanctum. Pass. End of turn, we will cycle Curator. Good to know that he went for a forest there. We need an island. Perfect. So I will get a forest. Oh, we'll be short on. Well, if he plays Blood Moon. I feel like I want to do this end of turn. He'll have an endurance. I feel like I want to grief him before I cycle anything. So let's go to get answers here. She's got Blood Moon, don't really care about Blood Moon at all. Um, like he plays it, I have red, that's fine. But now he'll have Force of Negation. So I have to just take the Force of Negation. And not give a crap about the Blood Moon. So I can then do this. And then do this. And I have island in hand. He's going to think, I don't want to play the island right away. I want him to think that I just don't have island. So he's going to ice me on my turn, which is fine. Go get a stomping ground here. Here comes his ice. Tap my sanctum. We'll see what I draw. So at this point, I have nothing to protect me from endurance. We know he had fire and ice. Wait. Why are these showing up as separate cards? I don't get that. How many cards? 5 cards in hand. We know he played one. He drew one. I don't know why it shows. Maybe he has a second one. I don't know why it was showing like that. I was just gonna say go. I don't want to play the island. Now he has no incentive to waste his turn playing the Blood Moon. But when I drew the Curator, kind of wanted to make sure I could cycle it. She's got 2 open, so he's got the ice again. Perfect. But if he has endurance, it's just brutal. Not much I can do about that, but looks like he doesn't. Looks like he does. God damn, man. I am going to lose this game for not having answer to endurance. Twice now. Those ices paused it long enough for him to be able to draw an endurance. It's a shame. What could I have done better? What could I have done differently there? Why do I always draw grief when I like don't need grief? I'm trying to think. I just need to cycle. I mean, by the time I cycle enough, let's draw some cyclers. Come on, guys. Let's go. What's he got in his graveyard? He'd have an endurance, and I'd have a grief. I think I just need to say go. Not good. So I'm gonna grief here. Force him to do something. Does he have a double outburst? Is he gonna cast an outburst? So I'm hoping he'll just cast outburst. Cast outburst. I mean, I'm just gonna have to take 8 here. Is he willing to just? Yep. Now that it's pointless. Anything. He's gonna hard cast subtlety. Well, I'm gonna do this. Then I'll play the violent outburst. It's a long shot here, but at least I've got something. He's gonna have an endurance. I'm still gonna have to double block the endurance. He's gonna put all this back into his library. He'll be top decking. I will be top decking, but I'm at 3 and he's at 16. Now just draw some cyclers. Let's just bunch of cyclers. Let's go. Hmm. He doesn't have the green to play it, right? So I did not mean to play it. I meant to discard it. Oh, that is so gut wrenching right there. When you're trying, I can't believe I just misclicked that so bad. I wanted to return this because you want to be able to hard cast it. Swing for 6. Swing. He'd have been on a clock. Oh my god! I can't believe I just did that. And I just lost. I mean, I didn't, but now I have to block, and mine dies, his lives. That is so frustrating. That's how that's gonna happen. uh, Not a land. Oh hey, that's actually that's actually not bad. That's not bad at all. And then blue, green, red. Now there's a point where I put Charlie's Agent back in my grave. Well, he's at 3, 6, 9, 12. He'd be 5 turns away from killing him. But this would bring back his Malgus and his Endurance. I think I just keep it in play. Some people would. You got to think about potentially putting Charlotte's back in hand, but then he's 5 turns away from killing him with just the subtlety, and I hope that I just get there. So he just, yeah, okay. Is there ever a world where he deals 1 damage to me? I mean, I'm just gonna keep it in my hand for now and hope he doesn't draw into anything. Land. Is there a world where I win? Ooh, a hardcore run in Division. Dude, I haven't played Division 2 in a while. I don't know if I could handle hardcore. So do I grief here or do I grief next? I think I grief next turn, right? What does he draw? I think I just wait to grief next turn. Because if he had anything to stop these, he would have already played it. If he's gonna have to draw into something here. So he's drawing 3 cards. I could cycle. I'll let him draw 3. Holy shit. God. Well, that was. I mean, it shouldn't have been that close. I misclicked my Otawara. Wow. So that was fun. That was. I can't believe I won that. I should win. I should win against Rhinos. I really should. Um, I didn't have the best hands, but you know that's no excuse. I can definitely play better. I'm glad I played against it twice, so I can see how the matchup kind of goes. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.